What is going on, guys? Good morning. SKITZ here, back with not a short and sweet guide, but this is going to be my first episode of my new series that I'm starting on my channel. Still World of Warcraft related. It's going to be called Coffee Talk with SKITZ. So check this out. Basically what I want to do is I want to give people the opportunity, whether they have a commute going to work, or they're in the gym, or they have 45 minutes or 30 minutes to kill and they want to just absorb and listen to beneficial, updated Legion World of Warcraft material. I want to offer that to people because I know every time I'm in the gym, for an hour a day, every day, I want to surround myself with everything World of Warcraft and Legion and just be on top of things, and I want to be able to hear and absorb everything even though I can't see it. So I feel comfortable in Legion. Jewelcrafting, I've been making a minimum of 500,000 gold per week jewelcrafting, and what I thought I would do, you guys have to let me know, this is the first cut of this, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my raw segment every morning when I wake up and I have my coffee talk. I'm going to get online, check my mailbox, and I'm going to go through my daily progression of a certain topic each coffee talk. So this one that we're going to do today is going to be on jewelcrafting. I'm going to show you guys literally the nuts and the bolts, and not only show you guys, but I'm going to explain in depth audio wise, so you guys have something to chew on and listen to. Like I said, whether you're driving, you have a commute, going to work, or just want to put me on and listen and try to absorb as much as you can, and I know you guys will. Literally, a lot of people have been getting back to me saying, yo, SKITZ, I made a lot of gold on this and that. So everything I put out, I make sure I put a lot of time into, and let's hop right into it, guys. So I'm going to turn my webcam off and turn my gameplay on for WoW, check my mailbox, and go through my auction house daily progression. I'm going to open up the jewelcrafting tab, go through each gem, and explain fell slate and laystone ore. And literally, guys, I'm just going to talk and talk and talk. There's no itinerary, so sit back, relax, have a cup of coffee, and let's jump into it. So I'm going to cut the webcam off. We're going to go hop into the gameplay now, and then I'm going to try to fully explain everything in detail, so you definitely will be able to take something from this video. So let's get on light work here. In between auction house progressions and scanning and loading in screens and all that kind of good stuff, there might be a little bit of a some downtime, but alright, guys, we just logged into the game. We're in Stormwind, and once again, guys, this might be repetitive, but I'm going to try to explain this for, again, people that do not have the visual aspect. If you're driving, please don't watch me and drive. You can listen and and hang out. So we're checking our mailbox now. This is a lot of old gems from yesterday. It is 7 o'clock a.m. on the East Coast. I'm on Kel'Thuzad Alliance, so this is the East Coast realm. So there's a couple people waking up, Frostmourne. There's a couple Australian realms that are, in conjunction with KT, but for auction house and gold purposes, it's pretty dead right now. So with everything gold making, with everything jewel crafting in Legion, guys, I'm a firm believer of this, and this is very true. It all is based off of your laystone ore and your fell slate procs, and whether you get those two at a great price or you get it at a terrible price. Because honestly, guys, the chance and the RNG of the procs and the gems is what it is. It's RNG, so you can't really control that, but you can control buying up cheap ore, fell slate and laystone ore at a decent price. So what I always do, here's the first tip, I guess, of this coffee talk, is in trade chat. I always just slash, to put you in trade chat. I always say want to buy WTB, and then I put fell slate or laystone ore up, tag it, and then I say times 200. And what that does, this is kind of not like a trick, but it triggers people that I want to buy that much, that only if people have, say, only 55 ore or 100 ore or something like that, they know that I want to buy this much, so they're going to whisper me and they're going to say, oh, I have this much or I have that much, You know what I mean? And that is your opportunity to them, whisper them back and tell them your first price. And that brings me into my next, I guess, point with trade, chat, and talking, and I guess bartering and communicating. Guys, the relationships you build on your realm is very, very important because, for instance, I have people that I've given, extra mounts to, like Coalfisk Grondlings or something like that are worth, 2K, 3K gold, but in the long run, for 50 bloods, to cut gems for me, or Saber's Eye or something like that, when the gems are going for 3, 4, 5K a piece. People, you know what I mean? People don't understand the value of certain items in the game. So just building a good relationship with people is very important, because you're gonna have repeat customers, and I have a lot of people CODing, cash on demanding me, or at all times Fell Slate and Laystone, just because I gave them a good price once. I was, we talked about it, said good morning, just be a decent human being is what I'm trying to say. And I promise you, your gold, just your gold making skills and just your resources for being able to jewel craft will be plentiful. I promise you that. So let's go into, I guess, the auction house, and I'm going to show you guys what I do from start to finish when I wake up, and actually probably 3 or 4 times a day, just to check the auction house market. So I either recommend having TSM or Auctionator, but I use Auctionator because what I'm going to show you guys is super simple. I'm not going to jumble you up with commands and codes and put this in and put that in. I'm just going to show you what I search for, and then I'm going to go through my progression with Jewelcrafting, and then so on and so forth. So let's hop right into it. First off, guys, we're going to search for Fell Slate. We're going to check the price of Fell Slate. Now with the new Blood Trader out, people are selling them for ridiculously cheap, and right now all of these stacks right here, I'm finding them under 35 gold. I'm gonna buy all of these up for sure. So right now I'm buying, if you guys can't see me, there's about 30 stacks of 10 at 33 gold per Fell Slate, and I'm buying all of those up to prospect. And then if you guys don't understand what a wall is on the auction house, I know a lot of you guys have heard that term before. What that is you can put up, let's say, 100 single stacks. So 100 stacks of one Fell Slate ore at a ridiculously low price, like 29 gold or 28 gold, just because most people aren't going to click one ore at a time, just boom, 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 buy out. And then when somebody comes on with a stack or wants to sell multiple, Fell Slate, 100, 200, 300, and they have no idea what the going price is, they're going to post underneath of all of those single stacks. So that's your wall. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So we ran through our Fell Slate. We're going to buy all of that up. Once again, guys, it's 7 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to have a little sip of coffee. There's not that much ore on the auction house now because it hasn't really got kicked into gear for the day, but this is all overflow from last night. So let's check Laystone ore while I have a little sip of coffee here. Scanning auctions, there's 20 pages of Laystone. So I honestly, guys, at this point oh wow, there's a lot of cheap. So there's a lot of Laystone here below 10 gold per Laystone. And why is that? As I said and talked about this wall here, guys, here's 100 stacks of 1 at 9 gold and 99 silver, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 auctions below that wall. So I'm going to capitalize on that now, because whoever is checking the auction house now is not a jewel crafter. And like I said, guys, your success in your gold making in Legion is super simple with jewel crafting, based off of your ability to pick up Fell Slate and Laystone ore at a great price. So in the background you can hear the bell go off in the major city for 7 o'clock a.m. on the dot. Hope you guys are having a great day, night, whatever time you guys are listening to me or watching me from right now as I buy up the rest of this ore. We are going to go into our progression. I'm actually going to prospect this, mass prospect this, which is actually right now in 7.1. If you guys are watching this, I'm going to date it is not broken at all. I know earlier in Legion when this first came out, people were getting terrible results, but it is amazing. Now, actually, before I go to the mailbox and take all this out, I'm going to scan the gems, and we're going to go over our primary 4 150 stat gems. So let's exit out of here, kind of reset, go back into the auction house, and then let's open up our Jewelcrafting tab. First and foremost, guys, with your Jewelcrafting, leveling this up, you must get it to 800 minimum. You need to get your Saber's Eye right here, which costs a Fury Stone, 1 Pandemonite, an Infernal Brimstone, a Fellwort, and a Blood. That's going to create your Saber's Eye, but this market is so lucrative right now, guys, in the early month, probably the next month of Legion, because the gap you have to fill in from, I think it's like 785 to 800 is pretty miserable. You have to invest 250k gold to level up, which actually you can make half of your money back, if not more, obliterating all of the stuff that you craft. But once you get up to this point, guys, with your Saber's Eye, being able to craft this, you will make a killing. These are going for sometimes, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 gold per. And the reason behind this, guys, is because maybe 5 to 10 jewel crafters on your realm have this cut for Saber's Eye. And another reason that this is so lucrative is because a majority of people stop at a certain point with jewel crafting and they're like, throw it under the bus because they don't have the gold or the time or the dedication to actually push through and level up to get this. With that being said, there's only going to be maybe 2 or 3 or 4 consistent jewel crafters on at any peak hour with this cut. So I promise you right now, guys, at 7 o'clock in the morning on Kel'Thuzad, which is a pretty popular Alliance realm, I might be the only one with this cut on the market right now, or online earlier this morning. So let's check out real quick while I'm talking about this, just the Saber's Eye cuts. Guys, check this out. So strength is going for 6k almost. I always round up. The Saber's Eye of Intellect is going for 6,700, so 7k, and the Saber's Eye of Agility, which since I went to sleep has been undercut, but not by much. So guys, almost 10k for a gem that cost at cost, guys. 1 Fury Stone, 1 Pandemonite, 1 Infernal Brimstone, and 1 Fellwort, and a Blood. That's roughly going to cost you, it's realm to realm, and I'm going to go through my realm right now and show you guys the price, but I'm telling you right now, it's not expensive to make. It's really a convenience factor. So Fury Stone is under 1,000 gold, so 800 gold for that. Pandemonite, let's check that out, which is usually the most expensive uncut gem, is still, guys, dirt cheap. I'm gonna buy all these up actually right now. That's under 2k gold. And then your Infernal Brimstone, Fellwort, I never even look at those prices. Those are always, relatively cheap. So you're looking at around, I would say at the highest, 4,000 gold, 3,800 gold to make a Saber's Eye. And the profit you're catching from that, from an 8,800 or 9,000 gold eye of intellect or agility, I'm sorry, Saber's Eye of Agility, it's ridiculous, guys. And it's more of a convenience factor, because now with the Blood of Sarger's Trader in 7.1, you have the ability again to capitalize even more so on jewel crafting, because everybody is burning their bloods on random stuff to sell it on the auction house. And once you catch those couple people in trade chat with bloods, I take full advantage of that. That's probably the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from this first, I guess, coffee talk, is capitalizing on other people's bloods. And what I mean by that is a lot of people are raiders, a lot of people are doing world quests or just randomly questing, or heroics, or doing all kinds of stuff. You have no idea what people are doing. I do nothing but sit in Stormwind and Dalaran and go back and forth trading and scanning the auction house, and I'm constantly in trade chat looking for a jewel crafter at every single waking moment. Every 5 minutes, I just do this right now. Just looking for jewel crafter, please send tell in trade chat. And what you're going to get is you're going to get people that have a skill of 750. You're going to get skills of 800. You're going to get skills of people that just got jewel crafting and they want to level up. So right now in Legion, if you just pick up jewel crafting, you can pick up the plans if you're 110 at a relatively low, like 150 or something stupid low. You can pick up all of the new cuts. People have 1,000,000 bloods, and what do? I'm like, oh my gosh, man, how many bloods do you have? I always ask. They're like, what do you need? Link jewel crafting. They link me to jewel crafting. I check it out. Oh, awesome, man. Like, that's great. You have what I need. It looks like I can level you up a bunch. I always tell people that. Like, people always want to get their profession leveled up, and they have no idea the value, the time spent value of the bloods. So every time I ask them how many bloods they have, they respond with either, 10 or 15 or 20. If it's that, if they have that, I guess, less or under like 25 or 30, I don't want to burn all of them, and I kind of feel bad for kind of cooking through all those bloods. So people with 100, 200, 300, 400, I immediately invite. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's meet up, blah blah blah. And then I dump all of my raw gems. And what I mean by raw, my dawn lights, my eye of prophecies, my shadow rubies, to make all of these big boys. Not necessarily for the current market, but I know that it's very, very rare that I'm going to get somebody with a lot of bloods that are going to give me these cuts at a fair price, because you can have an uncut Eye of Prophecy, you can have an uncut Shadow Ruby, an uncut Dawnlight, an uncut, Maelstrom Sapphire, but the rare fact of the matter is that if any of these, I guess, gems spike in price, the convenience factor is I have a back burner of these gems already made to put on the auction house. I don't have to scramble around for bloods. I don't have to find somebody with bloods. I don't have to go farm them myself. I've already had them made, and the only thing I have to do now is just relist them during prime time, and make a killing, guys. It's really simple. So I'm gonna go through and check all of these out right now, these 150 stat gems, and we're going to see what the auction house is looking like this morning. So I always, on the auction house, on the buy tab, I click on the uncut raw gem. So for instance, the Maelstrom Sapphire. Coffee break, 1 second, guys. And I hope you guys are pulling something from this video. Like I said, this is like more of a coffee talk. Just I hope I'm not rambling. You guys are actually understanding what I'm talking about. But like I said, guys, I bought the Bloodfang Widow 7 days ago on my birthday, and I've got 500k liquid gold now, and I would say 1.5k in gems just chilling in my bag, just waiting right now. So okay, here we go. We're going to start with the Maelstrom Sapphire, and we're going to check the prices of this. So the uncut gem is under 500 gold, and the cut gem right now is sitting a little under 1,000 gold. So like I said, guys, I'm probably going to put these gems up right now. I think I made a bunch of these before. I have. So with that small of a gap, when you prospect Fell Slate and Laystone ore, the Maelstrom Sapphires, the blue gem, you're going to catch these a lot. I've gotten a 10 proc off of Fell Slate before, and I knew then that these were kind of the, not the Bobo gems, but these were kind of the ones that everybody pulls quite often from mass prospecting. So I recommend putting up stacks of 3 or 4, but right now, in the early morning, when I know there's not a lot of people on, I'm going to put stacks up of more than 5, 10, because when people search for these gems, here's another tip, that don't have add-ons, when they look through the first page or first 2 pages, they're going to see not only are your gems the cheapest, but you're going to have multiple. It kind of just screams out, kind of buy me. It's almost like a highlighter for your gems. So The Maelstrom Sapphires, the uncut gem, again, was going for a little under 500 gold. And the cut gem versatile 150 versatility gem was going for a little under 1,000 gold. So I listed up those from yesterday, and let me show you guys again for listing a gem. Guys, the deposit for one gem is 8 copper. You heard that right. So once again, once you have all of your gems built up after you buy up cheap fell slate, cheap laystone ore, you prospect all of that good stuff, and you kind of sit on these gems on a back burner, you have the full opportunity now to just sit on the auction house and undercut people and push these gems at a peak hour, because the most important thing is actually having the stock to list, because listing them is very, very cheap. It's very inexpensive. So let's move up to our Dawnlight, our plus 150 haste gem. So we're going to search right now for the uncut version, because that's going to bring up the Dawnlight and the quick Dawnlight. The uncut gem, guys, is going for 1,500, and the cut gem is going for 2,500. It's going for a little over 2,500. So I'm not sure if I have to check my mailbox right now. I think my previous 10 sold from last night. We'll go over there and see, but we're definitely going to put up some Dawnlights this morning. So moving up to our Shadow Ruby, our 150 Mastery gem. Very, very, very beneficial. I make a killing off of Shadow Rubies because they don't drop. They don't prospect very often. So oh my goodness. So they fell throughout the night. Right now, the going price is a little under 3,000 gold, but I'm going to relist all of these, probably 10 of these. Still making a killing, guys, for a little under 3,000 gold per masterful Shadow Ruby. So earlier in the day, I got 25 of these crafted. I got a couple lucky procs off of, I think, 82 mass prospects of fell slate. I yielded, I think, 12 Shadow Rubies, and I found somebody with 100 bloods. They cut them for, I think I tipped them like 1,500 gold, and each of these are selling for under 3,000 gold per Shadow Ruby, guys. So once again, back to the nuts and bolts. If nothing else, good prices on fell slate and laystone ore will set you guys free in the gold market here. You guys are going to be making a killing, because you could honestly cut gems and not really understand markets, but still make a lot of money just based off of your relationships with other jewel crafters that have bloods and that can cut gems, and you just going about it in the right way. So we're going to relist the Shadow Rubies after we go back to the mailbox and grab those and relist them. Let's go over to our Eye of Prophecy. So we have almost 120 of these in our bag right now. I'm going to look. Undercut, but not by too much. So I put up these large stacks last night, 10 stacks of one, and a majority of those sold. But throughout, the 6, 7, 8 hours I was sleeping, they got undercut. So I'm sure we're gonna loot some gold out of the mailbox. We're just checking the prices of both. And once again, guys, you see the gap difference in the uncut gem and the cut gem, because the convenience factor of bloods is scarce now. People are dumping those at the trader to sell herbs or get order resources or all kinds of good stuff. So they're really not using them for crafting, and they really aren't taking advantage of that. And there isn't, if you guys notice, there isn't a lot of, there isn't a plethora of gems on the auction house anymore. There was a flood of them, but now with each gem costing a blood and people having less bloods, it's now's the time, I think, in my perspective, now's the time to keep crafting and craft even more. So we're going to go through our Saber's Eye. Again, we already saw the price earlier, the agility. Let's check the Saber's Eye of agility price one more time, see what we got. Yep, so 8,900. Let's go to our mailbox and see what we got here. I'm going to let this loot. This add-on I have right here, if you guys can't see it, I have 210 messages. So what I'm going to do is called Postal. It's amazing. You can hit open all, and this is going to put everything in my mailbox. 50 messages at a time is the max it can do, but there's a little trick to this, is you can / reload and then reopen your mailbox and it'll automatically put the next 50 in there. So if you didn't do that, it would go through a queue of like a minute or two and then the items would show back up. So here's the first 50 items, and as you can see right here, it says not all messages are shown. It's refreshing the mailbox. Soon to continue, open all. But if you / reload, you have everything back here again. So here's our next 50 items, and I'm sure during the back end of this there's going to be some gold, so you guys can see what sold throughout the day. So to put it into perspective, guys, if you buy up Fell Slate now that you can buy from the vendor in trade chat and on the auction house, if you get a good price from that and you mass prospect it, the job is already done for you. You just have to grab some good RNG luck with your prospects, and then once you get that, it's all about relationship building and finding people with bloods and that's it. That's literally it, guys. And then they can cut them. You'll find some people that actually understand the value of, you know, farming bloods and the time spent and the crafting, I guess, reagent that goes into the main component into the gems. But there's a lot of people out there, guys. There's a lot of people that are jewel crafters. There's a lot of people that have bloods and they just have no idea what to do with them, and they have no idea how rare they are. So this is your opportunity to capitalize on that. I hope you guys can, you know, kind of see where I'm coming from in that you know, perspective. But as always, while I'm looting the mailbox, if you have any questions or want to further this discussion, you know, or ask me anything, I guess gold related or WoW related or shit life related, you know, feel free to put a comment below and I will answer that as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So I'm a huge morning person. I feel like if you get up and start your day early, you can take, you know, full advantage and your day's a lot longer. So this is the perfect opportunity to scoop up, you know, the overflow of last night's posting on the auction house, people putting up last minute items and stuff. And I'm sure during this last little batch here, always have something that sold from last night. So the more auctions you have, the more chances you have of selling things. And honestly, guys, throughout the day with the gems, they're selling like hotcakes. Gems, jewel crafting, I guess, is such a hot commodity now because with all of the raids and all of the people raiding now and their alts and, you know, Karazhan that just dropped and Emerald Nightmare and Heroic and Mythic and Regular and Mythic Plus and all the chances at new gear and legendaries. You can have a great piece of gear right now today in the first hour, have it enchanted and socketed, and you could have just bought my gem, go out, slay 12 dragons, and come back with 3 new pieces of gear that need socketed, and guess what? You're buying another 3 gems from me or off the auction house. So it's like, this is going to be a never-ending market. Jewelcrafting is going to be killing it for, here we go, guys. Now we're getting, oh my heavens. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the background, but that's the sweetest sound in the game. Let's see how much we just pulled from an overnight. I was kind of lazy after I got my Blood Fang spider. I don't want to say I throttled back, but I wasn't as pushy as I was pushing towards. You know, when I was pushing towards the spider, I was literally just let's back out and see how much this 50 spot was. All right, so we just looted 43,042 gold, 17 silver, and 22 copper off of this. And while the mailbox is refreshing, I'm going to go over and open up and show you guys what's sold. So medallions of the Legion, my goodness, I'm still holding on to those because, yeah, you never know. People go back for Warlords of Draenor flying. Rest in peace, that expansion. So guys, here we go. Masterful Shadow Rubies selling for 3,100 plus a pop. Deadly Eye of Prophecy for 2,000 gold almost a pop. Goodness, just all of these just regular 150 stat gems. And like I said, guys, if you get let's put this into perspective, right? So if you grab a calculator, if you guys are at home and listening to this, and if you're in trade chat and somebody whispers you, I have 150 fell slate, right? And you're like, oh, that's great. So I whip out my calculator on my computer. I'm like, 150, that's great. Let's times that by 30 gold, which gives us 4,500 gold. That seems like, oh man, that's relative. It's a lot of gold. Skits like, what do I do? Blah blah blah. Like it's almost 5,000 gold. You buy it up, right? Because that's going to give you 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 7 mass prospects, because it's 20 fell slate or 20 laystone per mass prospect. That's going to give you 7 prospects, to put that into perspective. If you pull just 1 proc off of those 7 for 2 or 3 or 4 gems, that's going to be like, say you get 3 shadow rubies out of that 7 after you spent 4,500 gold on 150 fell slate, and the first 6 procs gives you nothing but green gems, and on the last one you get a lucky proc and you get 3 shadow rubies. I just looted, guys, 3 cut masterful shadow rubies for over 3,000 gold a pop. That's almost 10,000 gold for 3 gems, and that wasn't a good session of me prospecting the fell slate. So I made my money back off of those 3 gems like incredibly easy. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys, is even if you like don't weigh in on, oh my gosh, like I prospected this much and I didn't get this, and I want to give up and blah blah blah. Like just keep grinding. Like buy up cheap fell slate, buy up cheap laystone, just prospect. You're going to get the gems eventually, guys. I've had some terrible rounds. I've had some miserable rounds of prospecting, and I've had some great rounds of prospecting, but in the end of the day, it evens itself out. And if you get a couple people that can cut the gems for you at a decent price with their bloods, you guys are going to make a killing. So let's check the mailbox again one more time and see what we got here. But that was the last little bit of it. So we just looted a couple more gems that didn't sell, and then another 17,000 gold. So at the end of the day, just overnight, that was another, my math's terrible, I haven't had that much coffee, but what was the first number I said? I think like 43,000 plus 17,000, so my goodness, almost 60k plus 60,000 gold overnight just for a couple gems. So we're going to take all of these real quick and we're going to open our bag. Let's sort it out, and we're going to relist all this for the morning. So let's check out our quick dawn light, our plus 150 haste gem, going for a little bit under 2,500 per. We're going to put up 6 stacks of that because it's early in the morning. Our deadly eye of the prophecy is going for a little under 2,000 gold, which is ridiculous. We're going to put up, let's do lucky 7 stacks of those. The versatile Maelstrom Sapphire. This is a tricky one, guys, because this gem is so, I guess, it's everywhere, I guess, as you can say. Like every time you prospect fell slate or laystone ore, you're always going to get, like, I feel like I always get a huge batch of Maelstrom Sapphires in everything that I do, because that's just the way it is. This gem is used in a lot of stuff, and just this is the new blue gem in Legion. This is just like the dummy gem, if you want to call it that. So with that being said, the price of this uncut gem is going to plummet at all times, like 300 gold, 400 gold, 200 gold, and I'm snagging them all up, guys, because nobody wants to cut this terrible gem, I guess you can say, because they don't want to waste their bloods, I guess, on the 150 versatility gem. But it sells. It's not as lucrative as the other gems, but this literally goes full circle back to what I was saying, guys. The relationship with your jewel crafters and getting people to cut gems with their bloods, because sometimes I'll put stacks of 20 Maelstrom Sapphires, 20 Eye of the Prophecy, 20 Shadow Rubies, and waste, or not waste, but I guess you can call it that, or use 80 to 100 people's bloods that have upwards of half 1,000 bloods, because they just don't know what's going on with them. But like I said, guys, you just capitalize on that perspective of jewel crafting in Legion, and you're gonna make a killing. So we listed those. What else do we got? So right now, I mean, we have 50 Masterful Shadow Rubies in our bag right now, and they're going for 3,000 each, roughly. So let's put up 7 of these. Also, guys, this is very important. I'm going to go over the mechanics and the actual, like, the nuts and bolts of jewel crafting and the gems, and I'm going to break down what, from a jewel crafting perspective, you need to look out for as far as what certain gems are used for. So, for instance, people disregard this gem so much in Legion, it makes me sick. Not makes me sick, I love it because I eat this up, but the Fury Stone, people dump because you can't cut this into a plus 150 stat gem. People are outdating their necks and their rings and their craftable items with the Fury Stone, but they don't know that this is the main ingredient, one of the main ingredients in the Saber's Eye. 1 Fury Stone, 1 Pandemonite, and then Infernal Brimstone, Fellwort, and then a Blood makes your Saber's Eye. So if you don't have jewel crafting up at 800, you don't have these Saber's Eye plans, you have no idea that the Fury Stone is worth this much. So as you're prospecting as a low-level jewel crafter, 750 or 780 or whatever, you're getting these gems and you're like, oh, what are these used for? I'm dumping them. And I'm scooping them up because I know for a fact that I can craft Saber's Eye and push these for stupid amount of gold. I mean, literally, guys, 7K, 8K, 9K gold per Saber's Eye. You need one of these. You're only allowed to equip one of these gems. It's your plus 200 stat gem, but I'm making a killing with it. And also, if you find, like I said, guys, a jewel crafter that's 800 that has the Saber's Eye cut with a lot of bloods, I'm doing the same thing, guys. I'm dropping off 10 Fury Stones, 10 Pandemonites, 10 Infernal Brimstones, 10 Fellworts. I'm using 10 of their bloods to craft Saber's Eyes that are honestly, guys, going for, if you sold them for 10K each, you know, you made 100K gold off of nothing, off of literally pennies investments, because Fury Stones are cheap. Pandemonite are also crashing now because, again, you can't craft that into a 150 stat gem. And if you don't have 800 jewel crafting, you have no idea what it's used for other than the rings and the bands. So let's check out the Pandemonite market here real quick and see what's going on. Guys, it fell under 2K. So if you don't think that I'm going to buy all of these up, so once again, let's do a price check and let's highball it just so you guys can understand what you put into it and what you get out of it. Let me have a sip of coffee here real quick. Okay, so 1 Pandemonite on my realm right now. Honestly, guys, this is going to be realm to realm, US, EU, but for the Undermine Journal, you can check the prices. This trend, and it's pretty common that with Obliterum in the markets on a lot of things in Legion that are hot and trending, the markets are pretty current. And whether your gem market's high or your fell slate's high, it'll always even out. There's always going to be times to capitalize and to buy things out. So right now we're going to go over the price for Saber's Eye, putting into it, and then what you can cut it for and make it. So 1 Pandemonite costs 1,900. We're going to highball everything. So let's say 2,000 gold for a Pandemonite. The Fury Stones cost, let's see what we got here. Fury Stones cost 833 gold. So let's say 1,000. So we're at 3,000 gold now. 1 Infernal Brimstone cost 100 gold. Like I said, guys, the gems is what you need to worry about. The Infernal Brimstone and the Fellwort, you can scoop that up at a decent price at all times. There's always going to be a plentiful, there's always going to be a lot of these on the auction house. So let's check out the Fellwort real quick. 300 gold. So right now we're at 3,300 gold. No, excuse me, 3,400 gold. So 1,000 for the Fury Stone, 2,000 for the Pandemonite. We're at 3,000 gold. It was 100 gold for the Brimstone, and then 300 for the Fellwort. So we're at 3,400 gold. And let's say we tip somebody a whopping, 500 gold per blood. to put it at, you know, just under 4,000 gold for a Saber's Eye that's crafted, and you can cut it into anything you want. So if we look on the auction house right now, and let's just do a brief Saber's Eye, the lowest one right now, which is ridiculous, the strength, is going for 5,800 gold almost. So even if you crafted these and not undercut, and don't do this, guys, if you're making gems and you're, you know, the price that you're spending on them is 3,000 gold less than they're actually selling for, list them at still a high price and make that gold. Don't undercut people by 3,000 gold, because when other jewel crafters get on or somebody else gets on, the whole market's going to be killed. I have a lot of jewel crafting friends on KT. We all make a lot of gold together, but the fact that you are undercutting people is okay. Like, I respect the hell out of people that, you know, will put a post, like a mailbox down in the auction house, you know, it'll be peak hours, we'll list gems all day long and undercut and this and that, because that's the game you play. There's a lot of people a lot of people are on and active, and a lot of people need gems, so there's gonna be a constant demand for gems, and somebody's gonna grab a drink or go to the bathroom or get tired or log off for 20 minutes or whatever, so you're always gonna be selling gems. But the rate and the way you go about doing that is very important. So don't undercut people by a lot. If you're crafting, the cost of crafting is 4,000 gold, and you know you're selling the gem for 4,500 gold with the auction house cut, that gives you a whopping profit of like 150 gold. It's not worth it. Don't do that. So I hope that was just a rundown of what you put in to making a Saber's Eye and what they're going for now, because like I said, guys, there's not a lot of them up there because the cost of jewel crafting is insane to level it up to 800. Like the last couple notches was a pain because you had to spam a couple heroics and a couple dungeons just so you could catch the rank 3 version of a couple of the neck pieces, to craft that last 10 slots or 5 slots up to 800 to get the Saber's Eye. So a lot of people wanted it to make gems and sell those gems, but never pushed it and never went through with it to get the Saber's Eye. So what else, guys? That was a general. So everything, again, let's check the fell slate market since we've been talking. Everything in jewel crafting, every drop of gold I've made in Legion off of jewel crafting has started with great prices on fell slate and laystone ore. And like I said, guys, once I hit a certain once I got this bad boy right here, the Bloodfang Widow, I kind of pulled back on the laystone ore because you can get it at good prices and you can prospect it and you can get a couple good prospects here and there, but it's going to be single gems, and I'm really to the point now where I'm just go big or go home and prospect fell slate, and it's either do or die. So I think we looted. We do. Let's check out how much we can mass prospect. 17 fell slate, and we can mass prospect 11 laystone. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm actually going to show you my kind of superstitious routine that I do with prospecting. I always start with laystone to kind of warm up, I guess, the prospecting, but nothing. One Dawnlight, one Maelstrom Sapphire, another Sapphire, and one Eye of the Prophecy. So that wasn't bad, guys. Off of 11 mass prospects of laystone, we yielded 4 rare gems, 2 sapphires, a Dawnlight, and a Eye of the Prophecy. And once again, guys, we're getting these at 8 gold per, 9 gold per, so just one of those Dawnlights that we can cut and sell just paid for the entire laystone that we just bought. So once again, guys, the whole, I guess, basis of this video is, once again, buying up cheap fell slate and cheap laystone ore, getting good relationships with fellow jewel crafters, getting good prices on bloods, and just literally going about talking to people like in the right way, and taking care of people. They'll take care of you, I promise. So we just prospected 11 laystone ore and yielded 4 rare gems. I'm also going to go over what I do with the green gems after we prospect our fell slate. So we're about to prospect 17 fell slate. Let me move my chat log here if you're watching so you can see the gems. And before I do this, what I do is every even number I hit. So if I'm doing 17, if I'm mass prospecting 17 fell slate, and if I don't pull any gems at 10, I'll stop and I'll show you what I'll do. So here's the first 7, and let's see what we get in front. So nothing, nothing, 2 Pandemonite, nothing, 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 nothing. So we stop. So that's actually not bad. 2 Pandemonite is going roughly right now, and as I'm speaking, guys, 3 people just bought, or 3 individual quick dawn lights just sold on the auction house for 2,500 gold a pop. So there's another 7,500 gold while we're just making this coffee talk video. So there's a good example of listing a certain amount early in the morning. So we just prospected 7 of the 10 mass prospects, and we pulled 2 rare gems, the Pandemonite. If I'm prospecting, mass prospecting like 50 or 60 or 80 or 100, and this is a kind of just a fun fact in the middle of everything that I do, but if I don't yield any gems and I want to change the luck up, I do this and I pop all my healing cooldowns, and then I'm going to run through the last 10, and it's just good luck for me sometimes, and I do that. As I say that, I'm yielding like 7 stacks of gem chips, but the more the merrier. There you go, guys. We just yielded 4 Pandemonite and 4 Maelstrom Sapphire. So in total, we got 10 rare gems out of that small batch of fell slate. So, and we picked that up for super, super, super cheap. So, in retrospect, if we look now in our bag, we have 10 Pandemonite, and the Fury Stone gets prospected a lot. I have 81 of those now. So that's potentially 10 Saber's Eyes this morning that we just prospected, and that's almost 100k gold if we can sell them at 10k a pop, you know. So that's it's pretty ridiculous. Let's move into the green gems when you prospect. So your Queen's Opal, your Azunite, your chaotic gems, all of your, I guess, terrible green gems, as you want to call it, are not so terrible. So what happens, guys, is when everybody prospects, they discard these gems because these plus 100 stat gems, you know, aren't really used for much. If you're leveling up and you're a casual player and you aren't gaining gear at a relatively fast rate, you're not going to be repping out your gear very often, so you're going to socket this and just, you know, go about your business. So other players that are just, you know, leveling, boom, 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 you don't socket your gear really till 110 until you're ready to actually, you know, make some progressive, you know, moves towards your endgame gear. So all of these gems here, what I do, let's open up our Jewelcrafting's already open. I go up to the top here, and if you look at where is our rings underneath here, you can craft these 715 item level rings, the Azunite loop, the Deep Amber loop, the Queen's Opal loop, and the Skystone loop. Once you get it to rank 3, it costs only 2 Skystones and 1 chaotic spinel, and what that means is all of the green gems, guys, you can craft these into the 715 rings, take them to the Obliterum Forge, obliterate them for 2 to 3 Obliterum each, and then sell those for what is now spiking as well. So Obliterum prices are going up. Depending on when you're watching this video, it might kind of, you know, vary. The prices on the auction house are going to vary regardless. But this is just, you know, once you make your bulk gold with Jewelcrafting, I'm not stopping there. I want you guys to take this further, and it, like, literally, I use the example for like eating. Like if I'm going to eat, let's say, I don't know, let's use any animal for instance. Like I'm a firm believer in eating the entire thing, as far as like not wasting anything or not leaving anything behind. That was kind of a weird analogy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like as far as like everything, nothing goes to waste. I'm a firm believer in just and nothing ever going to waste. And you know, if you have a couple green gems falling off of the giant gold just choo-choo train of the, you know, the big boy blue gems and the Saber's eye, I still believe that you should be able to clean up with those and make a good amount of money with those too. So like I said, guys, all of your green gems that you prospect and you pull these off of your mass prospects, I craft the 715 necklaces, or excuse me, the rings, and I obliterate them and then throw the obliterum on the auction house. So it's a win-win. And I'm trying to think of if I missed anything. There wasn't no itinerary to this first coffee talk. Please, guys, honestly, give me your feedback. I want to know what you guys thought of this, and if you pulled any beneficial information on this, and also if you want a video in the future on a different topic, please let me know. For sure. So let me I'm gonna cut my cam back on, and then we'll wrap up the rest of this coffee talk. 7:41 in the morning. I actually was talking for a lot longer than I expected, but like I said, guys, let's wrap this up real quick. Making millions of gold in jewel crafting. Pick up cheap fell slate, laystone ore, not just in trade chat, but on the auction house. Look for the walls. Just capitalize every time you pop back in. If you have a down minute through mythics or BGs or arenas or whatever, go look at the auction house. Scan for fell slate, scan for laystone, scoop it up, and then, you know, you can kind of, I always batch it up into bulks and then prospect in bulks, not ever one by one, because you'll go crazy doing that. So that's the cash cow of jewel crafting right now in Legion, is picking up cheap ore and mass prospecting that. So after you do that, the next most important thing, if not the most important thing, is finding jewel crafters with, like I said, bloods, and taking advantage of that. A lot of people do a lot more, I guess, grinding and a lot more farming and heroics, and you never know how many people are out there with the jewel crafting profession and how many people actually have, you know, bloods, or how many they have. So you're always asking people, you're always being polite, say thank you, please, you know, just be a normal, just human being, you know what I'm saying? Don't be a piece of shit. So with that being said, when I just thought about this when I was wrapping this up, when you're selling gems and you look on the auction house and you're like, oh my gosh, there's five quick dawn lights, use that as an example, the plus 150 haste gems, there's 5 of those left on the auction house right now, the cut gem, right? And it's peak hours, and those are your 5 gems. You listed them at like 3,000 gold a pop, and they're selling, and you're like, man, I wish I can get these out now, because like nobody, you know, there's nobody else is selling them, and I bet people need them. The last thing you want to do in trade chat, this not only with jewel crafting, is draw attention to what you're selling. So for instance, if I'm in trade chat like, want to sell quick dawn light, 3,000 gold, nothing on the auction house, cheapest around, you literally just shined a beacon into the air to every single jewel crafter or every single player that has a jewel crafting ult to hop on and make a move and, you know, undercut and just start a whole train of nonsense. So another little small tip, I hope that helped. But as always, guys, I hope this video helped. I will see y'all in the next video, the next coffee talk, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. As always, like, share, most importantly, subscribe for more videos like this. I put out daily content all the time, gold guides, class guides, all kinds of good stuff. So I love y'all. Have a great morning. Have a great day. I'll see y'all later. I'm out of here. Peace.